Hi, my name is Shifa. I'm an instructor with Brooklyn Boatworks, and today we're going to explore density using materials that you can probably find in your kitchen. But first, what is density? Density refers to the amount of matter in a substance. This impacts whether a liquid floats above or sinks below another substance. Liquids of different densities can all float at different heights together without mixing. So let's explore density. For this experiment, you will need a clear glass or jar and then a couple liquids easily found in your kitchen. For this experiment, I'm using milk, maple syrup, dish soap, and cooking oil, but just look and see what you find. I would definitely advise that you use liquids that are different colors or easy to tell apart, just so that you can see them more clearly. The next step is just looking at what you have in front of you and trying to figure out what you think would be more dense. I think that the maple syrup is one of the thicker liquids that I have out here. So I hypothesize that this is going to be the densest liquid and it'll probably sit at the bottom. The next step is where we get started with the fun part. I am going to start pouring the liquid into my jar and let's see how this goes. One important thing to keep in mind as you're doing this is just to try not to let the liquid drip on the sides of the glass, because that will affect the other liquids that you pour in, and you might not see that clear separation that we really want to achieve. So next, let's see, I really think that it might be the milk, though the dish soap is also a pretty thick liquid when you look at it. So let's go ahead and see how the milk lands on top of the maple syrup. Try pouring it a little slowly and see how it settles in. What you'll notice a lot of the time is that when it comes to the liquids, because they do tend to go in with a splash, at first they may look like they're about to mix, and then as they settle in, you'll see a clear line, which we can see pretty clearly now of where they're separated. So let's go ahead and add the dish soap and see if that floats on top. And it looks like we were right. The dish soap is definitely lighter than the milk. It's just kind of floating on top of it. You can see a good clear line. And I think it's a little harder to see on that side. It's a little easier to see on this side. The dish soap, the milk, and the maple syrup right at the bottom. My last liquid is the one that I personally think is probably going to be the lightest. It's an oil. I'm going to pour it pretty carefully and see how it goes on top of the soap. All right. So as you can see, maple syrup, milk, soap, cooking oil. Those are 4 liquids, and I personally, until I tried this experiment, would not have realized that they can all sit in the same jar without mixing, but that's the beauty of density. Pretty cool. In this experiment, we saw that it was possible for many liquids to be in the same space without mixing due to their different densities. So looking at this, what makes you think that a certain liquid has a higher or lower density? And what would you guess about the densities of solid objects, like a metal nail or a ping pong ball? What do you think their densities would be in relation to the liquids that we tested out? Test out your guesses and let us know what you find. You can share your experiments on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and tag at Brooklyn Boat.